All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. Tonight we're going to be discussing some late November tactics. We're pretty much wrapped up with the peak breeding period of the rut. We're definitely towards the tail end of it. Temperatures have been, unfortunately, pretty rough. It's been warm. It's been above average temperatures between that and a lot of your firearm seasons either opening up or, been open for maybe a week or somewhere around there. I know we're almost wrapped up with our first rifle and shotgun season here in Illinois. We're in the central part of Illinois, and it's been tough. It's been really tough to locate a mature buck. Pressure's just ramped up. But let's talk about this next period of November, which is the tail end. This is the post rut. This is probably one of my favorite times to catch up with a mature buck. Depending on how bad the pressure was or temperature, things like that. So this year it's actually going to line up pretty good for us. We had really warm temperatures during the shotgun season, but tomorrow, Monday, we're going to have a really good cold front. Those bucks, they're coming off of those does. I'm starting to see doe groups, they're all grouped back up and they're hitting those food plots, and I'm seeing them on ag fields and stuff. And it's that time of year where those big boys are going to be getting frantic. They're going to be looking for the last available doe. So that brings up the topic for this evening, which is post-rut tactics. Let's dive on in on some stuff that's helped us out over the years, things that we key in on that I find beneficial and can definitely help you guys out this season. If you're in the Midwest, this will be super relatable. Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, any of those states, you're going to be seeing similar things as we are. Your peak rut's going to be, pretty similar to ours. I think ours is between like the 13th and 15th. So anywhere in the Midwest, you're going to be right in that range. You can slide the scale one way or another, a few days earlier or a few days later. But regardless, with this cold front coming throughout the Midwest, big bucks are going to be cruising. They're going to be looking for those last does. So number one thing I'm going to be focusing on is going to be security cover still. I really tend to almost hunt the bedding areas or those thick cover areas all the way until December. And even in December, there's still some good opportunities hunting downwind of like doe bedding and hunting red oaks and things like that. But I typically don't get back on like ag fields or food plots until December unless I know there's a pile of does on like a green plot and I'm thinking that buck's going to be in there, looking for that last one. Other than that, I'm still keying in on those thick security cover areas. If you just got done with the firearm season like most of you have, that's going to be your best bet. Is going to be looking for inside corners in the timber. If you have topography, that's going to be helpful. If you got rolling hills and where there's a good pinch or some kind of barrier or something, I would key in on that. The other thing is you got to stay on the does. You need to relocate them, or just if you know where they're at, just keep hunting the does. I know it kind of seems relentless, especially if you're not seeing a mature buck. I mean, lockdown this year was so slow. I felt like I just didn't see that many big deer on their feet. The pre-rut, that's a whole different story. I was on basically every single buck that I was targeting this year multiple times. But when we got to about the middle part of the month, it just got so tough. So key in on the does, stay in those security cover areas. Don't be afraid to move stands. If you're mobile, that's going to be your best bet. So that brings up the second thing. Stay mobile. Move your trail cameras. When you find something that you want to key in on, or you find a buck that you're after, hang a stand. I love hanging hunts. It doesn't matter if you're hunting public ground, private ground. One of the best things you can do is be mobile. It's helped me out over the years. It's put me, on almost every single one of the deer that I've targeted over the last 5 to 10 years is being mobile. Before that, I would hang stands early and I would stick to those spots. And you know as well as I do, if you've been hunting for any length of time, that if you're going to just keep hunting the same stand, you're going to burn it out. And not to mention, if you see a big buck do something, if you're lucky enough to see one do something multiple times and you're going to stay in that same spot and keep watching them pass by and you can't get a shot, that's just such a disappointment. You're missing out on such a good opportunity. You could have easily tore that stand down, moved to that spot, came back in, 2-3 days or the next day, depending on the wind, and possibly got an arrow in them. So thick security cover, stay mobile. If you're using cell cams or trail cameras, keep moving them, but don't rely on them. That is one thing that's burned me like crazy over the last few years. They're so much fun, but I found that I was getting too reliant. So the third thing is, do not be so reliant on your trail cameras. You got to be scouting, you got to be moving, you got to be putting eyes on these deer, not worrying so much about what your cell cameras are telling you. If you do see a big buck on camera, that's great. That's a piece of information. It's telling you he's there. You can try to figure out from that point on, where exactly he's coming in and out, but don't get so reliant on it, because what happens is you start hunting the deer after the deer's already been there. And what I mean by that is, I'm waiting for that photo. When that photo comes in, that photo is telling me I should have been there, not I should go there, tomorrow. I should have already been there. I should have been there when that photo was being taken. That's something over the last couple of years that I really fell in a bad habit, is getting super reliant on them. So this year what I did, put all my trail cameras up, I let them soak, and if batteries died or SD cards got full, I didn't really worry about it. I was so focused on being mobile, moving my stands, looking for sign, kind of going old school, going back to the basics, and that's really helped me out. So need to be scouting, need to be hunting those interior spots. If you are using trail cameras, be moving them around, be mobile, and most of all, this time of year, it's all about just seat time. I know it can be tough, but the more hours you can put in November, that's going to yield the best results. So hope that was helpful, guys. Thanks for tuning in on this week's episode. We'll be back soon. We have been nonstop hunting, so sorry that we're getting a little bit behind on these videos, but it's that time of year. We're getting wore down, but we'll keep on them. Thanks again, guys.